Hello, my single solitary viewer, and welcome to a full season of Golden Lap. Last to first is the idea. So the predicted position of Team Knight is 10th, last. But for having played this game a little bit, the bottom row is basically almost all equal. So it's getting up to there is entirely doable. Entirely doable. Getting up to the first row up there, more difficult. But let's see, with Knight, we'll have a little biography here. Knight's unusual jet black cars are the subject of much hushed discussion around the paddock. The enigmatic American team is so secretive that its owner has never shown their face. Some believe the team to be a secret skunkworks vehicle testing project. Knight's critics thinks the whole mystique is contrived as a way to distract from poor performance on the track. But then they do keep disappearing. Alright, so basically this game, we'll start with Knight, but this game is a kind of a race manager simulator, and we'll be building our team. We'll be hiring a chief, an engineer, and some drivers. Alright, I think our first driver is going to be Albert Steiner, because he has the unshakable trait, which gives him +1 to all stats when he's lower than 10th place. So that should help him move up, possibly, compared to other drivers in the bottom teams. So I think I'm going to go with our Swiss Steiner friend. And we're going to cheapen out and maybe go with Christoph Fischer, because he's cheap. That's really the only reason. Otherwise, I'll be like way above budget. All right, we have $11 left to spend. All right, for our engineer, we're going to have this South African lady, Peta Peterson. She unfortunately has the trait of building new parts being more expensive. But I think I'm going to really try to avoid building parts this season and use the cars degrading slower trait and the driver rapport trait to make the cars last as long as possible and not build any new parts because we won't have the money. So that means I have $5 left or less to pick our crew chief. For the pit crew chief, I think I'm going to go with Logan Black, who's going to have our tires wear 10% slower. And I'm going to pick him because I think we're going to try and do as few pit stops as we can during the races, and that's going to be the main strategy, to try to do just one pit stop during races. Now we have to choose a sponsor, and we want to look at who's going to give us the most money. So the race income 3 per race, that's pretty good. There's 10 races, so that's $30 right there. And if we finish 6 or above, we get the season bonus. All right. So totally not Ferrari, Ezzolini. We'll have Levi Mack and Luigi Moretti as the drivers. They're quite skilled, and they have a large budget, and they're very skilled. Not McLaren is going to have, well, their drivers as well, also qualified staff. And these two teams are basically going to be fighting for the win every race, with the not Ferrari actually being mostly favored. Like here, we're in 1970 here, so you have to keep that in mind. The middle pack is Chapman, Wayland, Hemlock. Those are fighting for middle points. They're essentially never going to be on the podium, but they're going to try to lock the top 10. And then we have the bottom of the grid, which is us. Here we are with, well, they're doing their best, I'm sure. Which drivers are going to die this season? Will there be a death? Will there be more than one? Because it's the 1970s and drivers die. So welcome to Autodromo Gran Lago. If we look at the calendar, we're going to have a race at Circuit Eerste, Sake Speedway, Noordzee, Francis Hollow, Stretto, Muttonchop, Hopkins Boot, Circuit de Casino, and Potenza. So we're going to have overcast condition for the qualifier. This game puts the qualifier and the practice sessions in one big session. And so we're doing both at the same time. The idea, of course, to find the perfect tuning for your car, but we're going to be skipping these because, you know, we're trying to have a whole season in a video. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be sending Steiner and Fisher out with soft tires, and we're going to be trying to increase the tuning of the car to the perfect setting. It's probably not going to happen. As we do this, it's going to log the times of the drivers and it's going to qualify them somewhere. I expect to be in the bottom 5 for both drivers. That's my expectation. If they do better, good for them. Qualifying is done. We managed, I think, to get Steiner in 10th place. Fisher is way down in 18th. That's a pretty good qualifying result, I would say. Where the team is like, one of the drivers at least is like ranked way up compared to where they should be. So that's good. The starting grid. Albert Steiner. So our team is built on the idea that we're not going to make a lot of pit stops per race, only one ideally. So we're going to have Fisher start on hards. We're going to have Steiner start on mediums, and then we'll do the switch. Going to tell our boy to drive aggressively. Of course, Fisher is not going to fight the teammate, but he has a chance to try and overtake, at least in the first lap or something. Try to get back, try to get out of the back of the grid. So here we go. The start of the race. And we're off. So as you see, I'm asking the drivers to push, and their stress meter is going up and up and up because they're pushing, and that means, you know, you can't ask them to push forever, otherwise they get highly stressed, which you know, puts them in a dangerous situation. You don't want to have to do that for the entire race. So now that I'm asking them to, okay, calm down. The stress meter is going down, but because they did this, Steiner actually managed to get up to 7th, despite the fact that he's a passive driver, has a hard time overtaking. I've noticed that the entire grid is on hard tires, and I'm really hoping that our pit crew chief, whose bonus means that our tires degrade more slowly, means that I'll be able to make this medium tire last long enough that I'll be able to do medium hard, because I'm feeling a little bit stressed about the rest of the field here. Now Steiner's true skill is showing through, or rather the car, the limitations of our car are also showing through, and they're getting caught up. But I'm gonna speed things up a whole lot. Oh, there's a red flag because Tim Morstan crashed, and it's looking bad. It's looking bad, folks. This could be a very serious crash, and it could be that Tim Morstan will not see the end of the episode. It could happen. So we're going to be pitting here because that's a red flag. So what we're going to do is going to repair everything. We're going to have plenty of time to be able to do this. And we're going to switch to hard tires. And hopefully those hard tires are going to last us for the entire race. And we're going to confirm that change for Steiner. And we're going to do the same thing for Fisher. All right, the restart is on. And I'm going to have Steiner drive a little more aggressively here for a little bit. Fisher is way in the back. And I think he's out of this race. So I'm not going to... You know, I'm gonna ask him to just take things slow, take things cool. Don't worry too much about this. Just, you know, give moral support to your teammate. And hopefully we can have Steiner maybe take a position or two, which would help us get some points. Obviously, you can see the tires won't last the whole race. if we keep him aggressive. So we're gonna change to a more conservative, normal stance of driving, and hopefully Steiner will be able to stay in 8th or close to that, and we'll get our first points of the season. Knight, remember, is supposed to be the worst team, so we're overachieving potentially. I might have jinxed ourselves, but we might be overachieving this first race. So we're getting close to the end of the race, and amazingly, Fisher did a huge comeback. Oh no! He just got overtook. If he gets 10th, he gets a point, and I think he's not going to make it. He's going to be 11th. Oh, man, that was so close. And Tim Morstan passed away. They did not recover from their crash. They done died, which is a tragedy. But on the silver lining, we get points because Steiner finished 9th, which is great. Much, much good. Potentially because someone died. But that gives our team, who is supposed to be last, 2 points and puts them in 6th place. Fantastic. And of course, we get our sponsor bonuses, which is great. We get a total of 4 buckaroos. Inflation, huh? So sometimes we have the opportunity to take some other sponsors for short-term 1 or 2 races, and we get a little challenge. This one I think is fairly doable. Golden Tune the engine. This one sounds very. There's a lot more money, but it's a lot more difficult. Golden Tune the engine on one of the cars. I think I can manage this next race. So Tim Morstan, of course, who decided to perish from Team Chapman, has been replaced by Ethan Ward. So with our team strategy, we're going to be using our money to repair the parts instead of building new ones. We're not going to be building new ones. We're just going to do upgrades on the cars, and that's it. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to be doing our qualifier / test sessions in rain. All right, I managed to golden tune one of the engines, so our sponsor goal is met. Qualifying is complete, and the results are not quite as good as the previous race. Steiner is still at least in the area to try and compete for points with 12th position, which is not entirely bad. And at least we want to be able 12 or above to meet our sponsor goals. So we have chances. So we're going to be in torrential rain here at this Eerste race. Sounds like you're going to be spitting the loogie race. We've got 12th and 18th, and we're going to be racing on full wets, of course. Let's do it. And here we go. There's Steiner up to 10th, 9th even. And the stress hasn't even begun to fully go up. Though I'm going to have to ease up on some of these. There you go. I don't want them to stay in the red too long here. We already had a driver die in the first race, and it would be preferable if our drivers avoided death, at least. It'd be even better if they avoided crashing altogether, but if they can avoid death, that's a win. So most of the teams here... Oh. A yellow flag. Okay. Well, I was going to say, and this is a pretty good timing for the yellow flag. Pretty good timing. I was going to say most of the cars here are going for a 2-stop strategy. And I'm going to really try and make this a 1-stop. So we'll have Steiner come in here. And I'm actually going to have Fisher pit as well. Whoops. But in Fisher's case, he's in no chance land. So I'm gonna repair the car as well. And because the parts of his car is gonna be in better shape, at some point I'm gonna switch the cars and have Steiner race with the car that is in better condition. And he might get points from time to time. That's the plan. So the other drivers are not pitting because they recently pitted. So I'm hoping that this will mean that Steiner loses fewer positions with his pit stop, because it happens under a yellow flag. Fisher, of course, we kind of, you know, we kind of decided Fisher's not going to be winning. The race is on. Just to be sure, I'm going to make him conserve the tires just a little bit. It shouldn't put ninth position in too much jeopardy. Okay, well, he got caught up now. And he actually lost the position. No! I didn't want that to happen, but we need the tires to get to the finish line. Oh no, he got to 11th. No! Oh, okay. Well, I mean, to be fair, our sponsor, we need to be 12th. We cannot be 13th. Aye. Well, that race did not... The strategy did not actually pay off. We ended up 13th with the one pit strategy. It worked for Paul Woods. Did not work for us. We got no points. We aren't going to Japan. Qualifying is complete. We got 9th and 14th. Good job, Steiner. That's a good quality for the team. We're going to have a rainy race again. We might have to do a lot of... So, is this wet enough for inters? The answer is not really. We have inters probably at the end over there. So I think we'd like to have mediums last until we get to inters, I think. Here's our start. And off we go. Fisher not doing great. And we don't want Steiner to be too stressed. He managed to conserve his position. As we go farther along into the race, we can see that we're probably not going to be going to inters at all. And I think we're going to have to pit and get some hard tires. So I'm going to have the drivers conserve a little bit. And switch to hard tires. Let's do that. It's just a little bit too wet for hard tires, and there's a lot of drivers going to inters. Man, did I just mess things up for Steiner? And we're gonna have to pray that Steiner does not crash. Steiner's losing a lot of positions, but it's already stopped raining. So maybe it was a genius call. All right, this race is unfortunately a complete fail. So I'm gonna have both drivers pit and repair fully the car, and they're gonna finish last by a country mile. So we finished last, except for the guy who crashed. We finished last. But we repaired the cars, so they should be in better condition than otherwise. You know, if you're not going to be in the top 12, I might as well just do that. But we're still in the same position in the standings. We're 7th. Hopefully, we can overtake April and get to 6th. Hopefully. All right, there's going to be a beautiful day in Dutchlandia. After qualifying, Steiner ended up 11th. So this is within the results we want. We want to be 12 or faster, and ideally 10th to get some points and get past April. So we're going to have another rainy race, and that did not work out well for us last time. On the starting grid, Ethan Ward The guy who replaced the other dude who died, Tim, if I remember correctly, actually got pole. Good for him. Good for him. All right, I'm going to have both my drivers start on Hoyds. Here's our start. Several teams decided to start on softs. I don't know if that's a mistake or not. We'll have to see. But so far, the hards are not working out for us because obviously soft tires are much faster. But the idea here is that we're going to pit less often. That's the hope. That's the hope. We got a yellow flag here, so a lot of cars are going to pit for new softs. They did. And I think what I'm going to do is try and pit for full wets. We've already got someone on inters, which is a little bit early. And we've got a few drivers now on full wets. I think it's too early for full wets. Gonna keep my hard tires. We're reaching the end of the hard tires in terms of water levels. So I will switch to full wets here with Fisher, and we'll do the same with Steiner ASAP. Oh no! Mikko Kukkonen crashed, and it's looking bad. Now it's a red flag, so I can put some brand new wet tires if I want, which I guess is what I'm going to do. But I'm also going to repair the cars, of course. With the green flag on, we're going to be driving a little more aggressively here to try to start. See if we can put Steiner into a better position. So hopefully we're going to be top 12. Because the other teams don't have the tires that... Oh! Albert Steiner crashed. Well, Jesus. We're just not going to be very lucky, are we? Just not going to be very lucky. Well, amazing result at the end there. Mikko Kukkonen is in the hospital, but he's not dead. So good for him. He didn't die. But the surprise is that Christoph Fischer managed to get to 11th place. That doesn't score a point, but that means that meets our sponsor goal. So we're going to get extra money out of that, which is fantastic. So we get a total of $6 buckaroos with the inflation, since the 70s. There's no limit to what we can do with $6 in 1970. Like we can buy a helicopter, we can, fire in the next race is Francis Hollow. Qualifying was not fantastic. We're going to have to overtake at least one car during this Grand Prix if we want to meet our sponsor requirements, and getting up to 10th for a point is going to be really difficult. Hopefully we get lucky. The strategy is to avoid pit stops and go with hards. This is a popular strategy with the bottom of the grid.
Leading a racing team called Knight doesn't have a chance in the fight, but on it we cannot give up.
We had a yellow flag that favored the teams on softs, but you have another one right now, and I think this is the opportunity that I'm gonna take to grab a new set of hards for Steiner, and we're gonna confirm this right here, right now, and we're gonna actually do the same with Fischer. Because, well, it's a good idea. Even though Fischer is not, in the same window of competition here. I think Steiner has the time to complete. Oh, and Fisher has a puncture, so yeah, we've already asked for this. Yeah, so we're gonna confirm again. If you're gonna have a puncture, might as well have it during a yellow flag. That's the least terrible time. We've got another yellow flag. This time, though, we're not pitting. The idea remains to have just a one pit race. Whoa, 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 whoa. I forgot. Steiner's driving a little too aggressively here. All right, Albert Steiner finished 9th, which both gets our sponsor goal and gives the team 2 points, I believe. Yep, 2 more points. So hopefully that puts us now on a tie, I think. No. April is going way up. So we're still 7th. Still, it's better than Vernier and Pope. Well, a really, really bad qualification session that was for our team. Steiner does 16 at best. We're kind of used to better results than this, and we need, in order to meet our sponsor goals, to get to 13. This is going to be a stretch. We might use this race to repair the cars during the damn Grand Prix. Here we go. We had an early flag early on in the race. We got another one now, and I still think it's too early to pit, so we're still not going to take advantage. But Steiner actually moved up to 8th. So it's going to be raining. And I'm going to try to make the... Yeah, we're going to switch to inters for Steiner. And we're going to try to have Fisher conserve his tires a little longer. And maybe he's going to go straight to full wets. So we got a crash. So I think this means Fisher should be pitting. Should he be going for full wets, though? No, we're going to go intermediates. And Steiner managed to finish 10th. We got a point, and we got our sponsor. Goal. But unfortunately, April is just clearly showing that there's a superior team. We're not going to be catching April. So we will, at best, finish 7th. The next race is Muttonchop. We're back in England. So we're going to send inters first, and we're going to do the final part of the qualification under wets. You know, we'll get what we'll get. Despite not achieving very good tuning, Albert Steiner actually managed to get 10th for qualifications. Fisher was a little bit ashamed of finishing 20th, as he should be. In full wets, I'm not even going to drive aggressively, I think. Which may have been a mistake. A lot of the drivers are driving aggressively, at least in terms of fuel consumption. Oh, red flag and Steiner. No! Steiner, why? Why? And now we're in last place. I'm gonna get new tires and fix the car up, but I don't know what Fisher can do from here. This is a race to forget, I think. Who crashed with the yellow flag? David Edwards. There's so many people crashing. Fisher, if he actually stays in the race, might end up with points. Gonna have to try to have Fisher be aggressive as we can have him, but he's so far behind 9th that there's no way he can catch up anyway. So I think, and especially with the yellow flag again, Carlos Rodriguez crashed and he was 15th. So again, that doesn't affect us. But the idea here is to just bring Fisher home with 10th place, and we get our sponsor objective, and we get all the objectives we want. Ward has just won, or Mach has just won. And there we have it. 10th place for Fisher, who had qualified last. So Björk Rosenqvist is going to be in the hospital for the rest of the season. Rinaldi is going to be in the hospital for one race, and I'm a little bit afraid for Steiner here. And Steiner is going to be out for the rest of the season. Driver replacement. Your driver, Albert Steiner, is not available for this weekend. Please select a replacement. I think Agug Pratama is actually going to be a good kid to grab. He's unshakable, so he gets bonuses when he's below 10th, so he gets bonuses to try and get the points we want. And he's aggressive. He overtakes well. So I think that's a good selection. So our replacement driver managed to qualify in 12th. Fisher, who is our cheap driver, got 16th, which is not great, but it's better than 20th. And last time he got 20th. He actually managed to get points because everyone crashed. So Hopkins Boot is our race. And we're still going to have yet more rain. Agong Pratama is 12th. He needs to at least maintain that position to please our sponsor. Okay, actually. It's going to move to torrential. Yeah, okay, we're going to go full wets. That's what everyone did. And it would be really neat if Pratama could gain a position, but he won't. That's impossible at this point. But I need him to stay 11th or 12th. That's all I want. The race is over. We got no points, but we did get what we needed from the sponsors. We got an 11th position. We got the top 12. So we got our sponsor money. Unfortunately, Pope actually overtook us. So things are getting really serious. We went from 7th to 8th, and this is terrible. This is bad. I do not want to be. This is bad. Welcome to Monaco and the Circuit de Casino. It should be du Casino. So this is incorrect French. There's a lot of mistakes with French in the game, I've noticed, and I assume with other languages as well. Qualifying was not great. We're in 15th, and Pope, who just overtook us, is in 11th. They're one position away. Oh, God, Pope just got Anders Nilsson 4th. We're going to end... My God. All right, we're going to have to think outside the box here. So we're going to have one driver on mediums, one driver on hards. And we're going to get things done. Okay, we got a yellow flag, and I think... I don't know if Pratana is going to have enough time to pit. But I think I can put him on hards and have him... No, they won't last the entire race. No, he's not going to pit. The timing is not good enough on this yellow flag. Not good enough.
Worst to first, we're going from worst to first. Worst to first. At first we were just shit. But now we are the shit.
Well, Agung Pratama managed to get 10th place. That's not bad, considering it's not bad. And we get another point. Unfortunately, Pope just got 8. So, yeah, things are not looking good for us. We're going to Italy for the final race of the season. It's going to be a sunny day for qualifications. Well, in a qualification that wasn't going awesomely, Gustav Fischer has crashed. Thanks. It's the end of qualifying. And I think Pratama is actually going to end up qualifying 9th, which is not bad. Well done, Agung. The race is going to be sunny as well. We're starting 9th and 20th because someone crashed. Don't need to name names, right? We don't need to do that. But we're obviously going to start him on hards. And I think Pratama can start on mediums. Then we'll switch to hards for the second half of the race. And that should work-ish. Let's go! Immediately things are going wrong for Pratama. Got overtaken by a lot of people because he did a lot of sucking. Alright, it's time for Pratama to pit. He's going to pit to hards. He was complaining that his tires were, getting a little bit used up. Or, as we say over here, he was whining. And slow pit stop. Great. That's exactly what we needed. It was actually an extraordinarily disastrous pit stop for Pratama.
Leading a racing team called Knight. Doesn't have a chance in the fight, but on it we cannot give up. From the bottom we only you go up, going from worst to first. Oh yeah. Worst to first, we're going from worst to first. Oh yeah. Worst to first. At first we were just chits, but now we are the
The race is over. Pratama finished 11th, unfortunately. I don't think getting a point would have made a difference, actually. But it does mean we successfully get our sponsor goal. Don't know that on the last race of the season, that last dollar is going to make a difference. Or rather, well, actually, with the other sponsor bonus, that's a total of 6, which is actually good money. It's good money. But that's the end of the season. Unfortunately, Albert Steiner decided to crash out and injure himself. At least he didn't kill himself. But I don't know. I don't know if Steiner is going to be back next season. I don't know if Agung Pratama is going to be back this season. I don't even know if Christoph Fischer is going to be back next season. Depends on the budget that we have. I think we're ending farther back than we'd hoped. In 8th. I was aiming for 6th. Obviously that wasn't even close to happen. Not even close to happening. We got 7th, which is more than 10th, which is what we started at. So it's a progression, at least. But I'd be curious to see how much season we get. So we got, instead of starting with $35 like we did at the beginning of the season, we're gonna start with $45. Which I don't think is going to be enough to really make a big difference, but I think we might be able to hire a driver with a little more potential. Maybe we're going to do that, and we're probably going to stick with the same type of strategy. Now that's it for 1970. And that's it for this video. I want to thank you for watching Golden Lap with Flouzemaker. Applicable. So Gabriel Larousse went from mid-career to late career. And I don't think there was significant improvement here with our boys, the drivers. We can see what it looks like when someone improves. So David Edwards did improve quite a bit, as did Artie von Heim. With our engineers, did our engineer improve? Nope. But with the strategists, I think the slower degradation actually paid off, I think, in a way. We don't have the money to really build parts, or to pay quality engineers to build quality parts. The crew chief, our man was Logan Black. I see that the rubber strategists, we're not the only ones to have taken rubber strategists. Franco Silva is a really good pit crew chief, but he's a little too expensive. And that's where we end things. We're going to start the new season. See you next season. Bye-bye.